Welcome to the Rising in Real Time podcast. Rising in Real Time is a living conversation among three women who are not only talking about healing, but embodying it.
Each episode is a snapshot of our collective becoming, the tender, the raw, and the radiant. Together, we rise through stories of ancestral remembrance, sacred ritual, and embodied freedom.
This isn't a show about being healed. It's a devotion to what it feels like to rise again and again in real time.
I'm Christine.
I'm Sia.
And I'm Shashetta. Let's get into it.
Hola.
We back.
We back. What's up, ladies?
Hey.
What's going on? How y'all feeling today?
How am I feeling?
I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really grounded. I just had a spiritual bath. I'm off all this upcoming week. I'm getting my rest in. I came from a great weekend. I had a great trip last 2 days ago. So I'm feeling good right now.
I love it.
Love it. Like, I just got a little bit of that feel good. I mean, I was feeling good too. But
Yeah.
Okay. I
Feel good with me, y'all. Feel good. Let's all feel good together. Y'all listening? We're feeling good. We're feeling good. But let's be real. Out here, like in right now in this space, it's feeling good. But if I peek out there, okay, we talked about that shielding and grounding yesterday. I will be in my bubble right here. Call it delusional, but hey, your girl.
No.
Absolutely.
I don't call it delusion. I call it, like you said, you're grounded in your own energy fields.
Right
now. And like it's so perfect. Like, go ahead, take us in, because that is absolutely what we need right now. It is so much chaos out there.
So much.
On purpose. So come to self, get locked into your own bubble, and ground your energy so that you can really know how you feel. You, not everybody around you, not how they want you to feel by consuming the things that they're throwing at us, but how you naturally feel. Get in grounded. How you feeling your own energy.
Thank you, Sia. Thank you for that. Because, sometimes it feels like, for me, it's hard to sometimes share that, I feel good, I feel grounded, like when there is so much chaos and everything out there and everybody's just like putting their projections on you. It's like, actually, this is good. And I'm like, am I tripping right now? I'm not supposed to be feeling grounded and feeling safe. And so thank you for that affirmation, because I do have that little Chiron Gemini in the back of my head. It's like, girl, you tripping. Why did you just say that? It's like, don't you know what's going on here in the world? But it's okay. It's okay to feel that.
That's exactly why we need to be focused on feeling good, because I feel like everything else is meant to bring us down. Like it is on purpose. It is by design. It is an agenda. And so if we are allowing ourselves to get swept away in that current of chaos, it's like it's not even gonna help. It's not even gonna help. And that's it. And I feel like we are very much earthy girls. And so it's like we need more, especially Black women, to be grounded, to be centered, because we are the centers of a lot of our universes. No matter what is happening around us, we have to think of ourselves as the nucleus, right? And so everyone else around us is going to pick up on that vibe. And so we need more of us to start being grounded. That I just feel like that is absolutely what's going to help the rest of the world, the earth, begin to move back into a stable place. Because and we're not going to be in a stable place for a while. I feel like this is a time of upheaval. It's a time of instability, which I don't love. As with all my Taurus placements, I do not enjoy, and fixed placements, I don't enjoy the instability unless I choose it, of course. But the reality is that it's reflecting all around us, but we've been wanting change. We all, I think a lot of us are tired of how things have been, tired of how systems have been exploiting and taking advantage of humans in general. And so change means it something has to shake. So us being grounded and centered is going to help those around us when they are losing their ish. Because I'm like, who are they going to turn to? Us. So,
Yeah, and I love that, like, through that change and you talk, coming back and be grounded, it makes me think of, like, this week, the time of us filming this, the planet of change, upheaval, groundbreaking is going back into Taurus. We're talking a lot about Taurus and these things. So it's like a reminder to us, like, what are your grounding practices during these times of change? What is going to root you down? What is going to stable you down? Knowing that expect the unexpected, things are going to change, things are going to happen, and we're moving towards changing our mind, changing our thinking. But I think in this time, we're being called to do exactly what you said. Who are those nucleuses? Who are the anchors? What are the practices? What are things that we can do? This is that invitation, like Uranus has given us. Is like, y'all really ready? Make sure y'all get those grounding shits together because we're about to be gone with the wind. Okay.
Yes. And I love this. I love everything that we're saying because now is the time. If you don't know, now is the time to take these little nuggets, stick them in your bag, okay? Because, and not to fear monger, this is not about fear. There is nothing for us to be fearful of. That we don't have to be afraid. Especially if you are here watching this, because one, you already know, two, you are being given the tools that you need to make it through anything that is being thrown at you. Now it is up to you to apply those tools. Yes. So, yeah, getting grounded. What does that even mean? For us, we know because that was key to our journey. It was one of or some of the first things we learned how to do. But for other people, lots of people, we don't understand or don't know what grounding even looks like. I think some people think it just means like, okay, I'll just go outside with my shoes off. Perfect example. That is a perfect
even if
example.
they do that, some people are afraid to step on grass
Okay.
barefoot. Like they think it's like for white folks, like, or hippies.
But not even realizing like before now, people were barefoot to connect with the earth. So these shoes, like they're made to disconnect us easily.
Wow. Wow. I never even thought of that.
Yeah, oh yeah, girl.
Oh,
Like, don't even get me on the shoe. Don't start getting me on the shoes because even the shoes, like they mess up your
talk
roots,
about it.
feet. Like
Mm,
naturally, if you let your feet, I learned this in COVID because we were in the house all the time, right?
okay. Okay.
So you're in the house and you have children and they grow, and anybody who has children know you wear that shoe for about 6 months and then we in new shoes. So since we were at home so much, we didn't need shoes, right? We were at home. Well, my children's feet became more flat and their toes spread to the point where just putting on sneakers, no matter how much we went up in size, they were uncomfortable because they did the toes like this.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So sorry, that probably was me. Yeah, so then we kind of went over to Crocs because Crocs you had the room and the toes could be more free. And then unfortunately, because we live in this world and in this society, we had to recondition their feet to
Mm.
fit back into shoes comfortably.
Wow, that's so deep.
That's so deep. And
So
here I
deep.
am pissed. Like I can't believe this. Like, and then I have to force y'all to put on sneakers that are like causing your feet, I can go on and on. But yes, even the shoes are made for us to not be grounded, to not
Wow.
really connect and have our feet on the floor.
Ooh, that was a word. And just to even think about our feet, our connection to spirit, earth, the earth or earth, the spirit of the earth, as well as Pisces, is like that spiritual grounding. And yeah, that was deep. That was deep. Even just to look at the shift of your feet and the message, like, whoa, you just blew my mind with that one.
But like it's just like the little things, and we don't pay attention because we don't know. We just do out of habit. We just do out of habit. So yeah, just getting grounded. It's just taking a second, getting in your body, quieting that noise that's all around. And it looks different for all of us. So I believe that's why we're here today, so that we can go over some of those ways that you can get grounded. I know that when we spoke last week, we definitely hit on like a good 2 points, or 3 points on how you can incorporate grounding. But we wanted to just stretch it out just a little bit more, to give people something to hold on to when it comes to grounding, and to have awareness around when you need to be more grounded for yourself. Um, so yeah, anybody have anything right now?
I love that. I just wanted to touch on, of course, people talk about meditation as a perfect tool for grounding and for centering and calming the mind. But for those of us who are not very comfortable with meditation, that can be the hardest thing to do, is to quiet the mind. And so, yes, I'm going to offer, again, like most people have heard, meditation as a tool, but also just recognizing that meditation can look different. And also doesn't have to be, like swami dami lami, as we say. It's like it doesn't have, you don't have to sit for like 2 hours in order to be successful, right? It can be 5 minutes. It can be with a guided meditation. It can also be an active meditation, which, I am a knitter, I'm a crocheter, I bead. So a lot of times when I'm doing those things, I am in a meditative state when I'm sitting there doing, because it's repetitive. And so I'm just doing it. Either I'm counting or I'm just doing a stitch, but at the same time, my mind is not able to think about the 15 things that I have going on because I have to be focused on what I'm actually doing. So, walking meditation, going for a walk is a great way. Using sound is my favorite way to meditate. Because I don't actually do well with guided meditations because I get hung up on people's voices. It's really bad. So I'll be like, why do they say that word like that instead of focusing on what they're actually saying? So it may not be for you, but maybe that works really well for you. There are lots of apps and things like that that can be, instrumental in helping you find what works for you. I totally suggest it. When I first started, I actually really enjoyed just listening to ocean sounds. And I could imagine myself being on the beach and like feeling the sun on my skin and just hearing the waves going back and forth. And that would be really, really calming and healing for me. Um, and yeah, I just think I really wanted to point that out, and sometimes it took a while for me to be able to meditate for a long period of time, with nothing happening. Because a Libra sun, air sign. So my mind is like, woohoo, doing laps. Even if I'm sitting still, my mind is going. So what it did allow me to do is to at least, like they say, remind yourself to come back to the breath. It's like if you find yourself thinking about too many things. But sometimes for me, that's when I get downloads of things too. So I don't know, maybe y'all could talk to that too, because, I know the idea is to get your mind to be still and to be quiet, but I have gotten some really like, oh, that's what I need to do when I'm laying there in Shavasana, for example, on my mat, just meditating.
Yeah, for sure. Two things, and I have a question.
Hmm.
Um, Knowing that sound is a great way, and I know you're very much into like sound meditation, and I've heard you talk about this before, and I'm probably butchering the name. Cerebral frequency, like
Solfeggio frequency. Yes.
Yeah, so are there any particular sounds that would be good for grounding? Like, if we aren't into, like, that type of meditation, like, could we go, um, like, to YouTube or to Spotify and, like,
Absolutely.
get certain different tones and sounds that you
Yes.
feel
I'm
would
gonna
be
get the exact tone. I believe it's 396
okay,
for the root chakra.
okay,
And that is the one that I would so I'm looking it up right now because I want to be sure. 396 hertz. You can Google that in not Google, you can search in YouTube for a video that will play for like hours and hours and will just play something,
I love
and that
that.
is geared towards the root chakra and grounding and connecting. You can also go on, like you said, Spotify or, whatever your music platform is and look for 396 hertz and
Okay.
then something will pop up. Um,
That's so wild. 396, 369, right?
oh, yeah.
And those numbers follow me. 36 profile and 9 life path. So, so wild. It
Yeah.
came up. And another thing that I will bring up, and you talked about water and sounds. I actually learned this from Sia, and it's been so helpful for me. In the talking about the downloads, downloads definitely happen like that, playing it's more I guess it's more of affirmations, but to me, affirmations can be meditative, and especially under the water is where I get those downloads, and it's also feels really grounding and meditative. But again, like, what is meditation? Those and like you said, it could be active, and I loved what you offered up around stitching and crocheting, like, oh my gosh, like, even just the repetitive nature of it. So it's like breaking free out of the box of like what you call it? Like, that meditation and just exploring and experimenting with different ways that you can tap into because what is meditation exactly? Like tapping into
Yeah, I would say meditation is just the quieting of the mind.
okay, yeah.
It's literally in the brain. And it's funny that you say this because here I go. I watched, I think it was a TikTok where it's an old video. It's like an old video. And the guy was saying, like, I think the churches may have gotten it wrong when they said tithe 10% of your money. What they really wanted you to do was give 10% of the brain to meditation, to source, so that the other 90% can be open to receive the downloads. So it was just like, so when I heard that, again, another chill moment, I was just like, whoa, whoa. So I don't know that I would agree 100%, but
I
that
chills
is,
just now too. So
hello, that is a very interesting way to look at it. Because to hit back on what Shashetta was saying about, like, well, yeah, I can meditate, but then, I get my best download. So it's like you quiet your mind, but then these thoughts come through. So like, what do I do? Well, yeah, like that's it. Like that is it. Like you're quieting the noise. It's the ability to quiet the noise no matter what's going on around you.
yeah, the monkey mind they call it.
Yeah, so it's like, yes, when you're first starting out, it would be nice to have a closed off space, quiet space, so that you can train the body. Like just think baby, think toddler, like anything when you start off, you want to make it as easy as possible to understand the concept, right? So yeah, we start off quiet, but when the shit hits the fan and you're in the grocery store and you notice that you're ungrounded and you're having an anxiety attack and you're breathing really hard, where are you going to go to get quiet? You know, that's impossible. Or if it's a student in the middle of a classroom and you feel the pressures and it's coming on, how are you going to get quiet? Space, I mean, around you. That is learning how to go inside here, and you can no longer hear out here. And then that God voice, it comes, that is the purpose. You hear those messages roll through. And then the more you practice, you learn that there's a different voice coming through. Your conscious, you talking to yourself, your thoughts, versus a more dominant voice where it's just kind of like, I feel like I need to act on that. I feel like that was a message. Or you'll hear it and not really be able to place it, but then you'll have a series of events like the 369 keeps coming to me. Well, that's because her God voice knows how to communicate with her, right? And sends these messages through. So yeah, the more we get to the space where we know how to do this for all of that, it comes in. And then one more point I wanted to make on the water. So I don't know why, well, I do know why. But that's for me. Spirit has placed so heavily upon me to share, especially with women, women of color, the water and how important it is for us to submerge ourselves in water and pray into the water, affirm into the water, release into the water, whatever feels best to you. But the frequency of the water can be conditioned or transmuted. So, whatever it is that you need in the moment, it is like powerful. Yes. So just using that water, and yeah, we can go to the ocean, we can go to the rivers, like there's levels to it, but baby, you can go right there to that shower and you can let that water fall down on you and you can just pray like you are your own source. You're your own source. Never forget that. We get tools and we get the things, but the time will come where you don't have the things. And you have to know how to go here and just speak it. And waves will be created for sure.
I love that. I love that so much. The things that was coming into mind, and I'm curious if you are willing to share what your Mercury is, Sia, but definitely, like, when you're thinking of the mind and getting information, getting downloads, you look to Mercury, right? And that could be a great place to look to see what type of grounding or meditation could be great for you. Like Shashetta shared, I believe your Mercury's in Virgo. So like that repetitive number, tactile things is a great channel. For me, mine is Gemini, so hearing guided meditations, that's really good for me. I need to hear a voice like I went to sleep to Channy's new sleep stories. And those are super helpful for me to get into my body and, to hear frequencies. So, like, if you have a watery Mercury, hearing ocean sounds or connecting with that water could be also a great thing. So that just popped in my mind too. But yeah, the water is powerful.
So interesting that you asked because my Mercury is also in Gemini and I lead guided meditations. Like that's my jam. That is what got me into spirituality. When I go to meditate, that is typically I guide myself through a meditation. But there was a good 2 year span where a guided meditation was not it for me. I would attempt, and I know how to do this. Like, I know how to do this. And it just wouldn't hit. And that is when I learned to lean more into creative expression and use my creative expression as moments of meditation, just like Shashetta shared. Because when you're doing that, you do kind of get into like, for me, I always see like Neptune, because you get into like your Neptune when you are able to be in a space of doing something that you love. So for me, it was to paint and use colors and just be very childlike. So I can sit here with a coloring book for hours and I don't have to worry about any other thing that's going on. And quite frankly, I don't want to be bothered. Like don't break the trance, please. Because I'm in a meditative state. And once you create the thing, once it was finished, there was always like this powerful message behind it. And I could always look at it and just be like, oh wow. You know what I mean? Like I distinctively remember making a portrait, a self-portrait that was so pretty, but it was me crying. And it just like it was like my download of like, yeah, you're just masking. Like you're masking all of this heavy emotion that you have. So it's just like, yeah, you'll find what feels right. You'll find what feels right. It's just first getting into the space of grounding, and what do you need to ground you first?
I just wanted to circle back. You were talking about, needing a quiet space and, the ultimate perfect setting and like, with your incense burning and your candle lit. Like, yes, loving all those things and doing that with all the tools as much as possible. But it was making me laugh because I was thinking about, the fact that now I can put on my headphones. My son will be like literally 10 feet from me playing video games, yelling with his friends. The TV might be on, like looking for the quiet place. I'm like, I'm putting on my headphones and I'm out of here. It's like you learn how to, like Sia said, the levels to it, right? The toddler stage might look one way, but once you've done it for a while, you find that you can do it anywhere and you can use your tools, use your breath, which is another huge tool to be able to get yourself back into your centered, quiet place. But yeah, it's just funny because as a mom, like you don't always have the option to go into a quiet place to be able to, find your zen. You're gonna have to find it wherever the heck you can get it and when you can get it. So I just wanted to
Facts, facts. Dishes are it for me too.
say
It's like that's if nobody's bothering me then. It's like that's my quiet space. I'm doing some dishes.
yes, dishes are, oh my gosh, I've gotten some dope downloads when I'm just cleaning also. Oh my gosh, in general. I think, I have an ancestor that's like, oh, because I don't enjoy cleaning so much. I love clean things. I love having my house clean. I just don't like the act of doing it. So when I do it, it's like I feel like they're like, okay, here you go. Reward.
And I love that you mentioned your ancestors, because like think back. Like you thought they had time to meditate. Did they know what meditation was? Like all the things. But we had ancestors who had a job and they had to do this, and there was no talking allowed, and they had to move fast, right? That's a meditative state. Do we think that they were receiving downloads? You know? So it's
And
just like, yeah, go ahead, go.
and just thinking of Black people in music, like that is a meditative state in its own. Humming, sounds, going to church, being in the choir, those are all ways that we ground in some ways or root back into ourselves. So yeah, it just made me think of that. So, like that's one thing our ancestors did. If they didn't do anything, they would hum and sing because
Mhm.
there wasn't much they were allowed to do
Yes.
back in
You made
those
me think
days.
of like the railroads, like when they were like, it was a rhythm and they were like chanting and singing as they were, doing the work that they had to get done.
Yeah.
That's
And
so
what's the
good.
frequency of hitting that metal and steel together? You get what I'm saying? That sound healing that's happening, or the humming. I was told that you can't hum and feel unhealthy at the same time. So, like, just to know, like, that's what our ancestors did, because I can only imagine how the circumstances and the environment made them feel. So to know that they're self-healing in the moment, wonderful. I want to bring our attention back to breathing. I forgot which one of you mentioned the breath, but I kind of feel like the breath is like that key piece to grounding. A lot of times we're holding our breath and we don't realize it, or that we're not breathing deep enough. And air is life force, right? Like they say, God blew life into, right? No matter what it is that you want to believe, we need to breathe first before we could live. So the first step for me for grounding, and even grounding on the go, if I have 10 seconds to reset, is to pay attention to my breath. It's breathing a full breath in. So deep in my nose. And I feel like I mentioned this somewhere here before, that I envision my breath kind of like the spiral of smoke, where I take it fully in, fully into my body. I want that breath to hit every muscle, every bone, like pull it in. And then you open your mouth and you let it out because now we're moving stagnant energy. Yes. And then what happens, like, let's say you have a container, a bottle, right? And it's screwed tight, not breathing, screwed tight. And you put it on a body of water. This is going to bob and float, bob and float. But the minute you let that air out, it gets dense. Yes. It starts to root down. It goes down. And yeah, it's sucking in some of that water, but just think of that as like the air, that life force. So as we're sucking in air already, we're getting grounded. Like it's bringing us back down. So you got 10 seconds, you have 30 seconds, you have 2 minutes. Just practice a series of deep breathing in through the nostrils, out through the mouth. And already in just the breathing, I think you can kind of start to feel that reset.
Yeah, I think it's so important, like you said, the deep belly breaths, really practicing filling up your full belly and then releasing all of the air out, expelling all of it out, like, and thinking about what you're calling in and what you're releasing at the same time too can help with that grounding. There's also box breathing where you can, like, you breathe in for 4, or you can use a different count, but the basic is breathe in for 4, hold for 4, release for 4, and then hold for 4 again, and then repeat. And that's like when I'm feeling like I'm jittery or not grounded or centered, I use box breathing a lot because just in the counting, you forget to be anxious because you're like, hold 2, 3, 4. Like you get you get lost again. Me and counting, I it's a thing for me in counting, clearly. But
Yeah,
yeah,
alternate nostril breathing too is when that to calm that overactive mind, to activate that left side, right side mind. Alternate nostril breathing is really helpful. So similar on the vein of box breathing, you would hold one nostril, inhale for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, and then exhale for 8 or 4, whichever number, and then do the same thing on the. If you're watching the video, you can actually see me doing this, but alternate nostrils. That's very somebody with a ton of Gemini placements. That's very helpful for me. And breath work in general is extremely helpful for me. And you mentioned when you're doing those deep belly breaths, saying a mantra or an affirmation from it. And there was one I attended a session with Professor Baina Bello, and we were talking about a lot. And um one breath work after breath she would constantly stop after we got a whole bunch of information and downloads. She would stop and ask us to breathe, to make sure that we were really taking in the information, to inhale health and well-being and to exhale justice. And I take that with me all the time, inhaling, health and well-being for myself, and as well justice, not only for myself, for the world. So that's been a grounding
love
breathwork practice that's been helpful for me.
love that. Um, and walking for me has been huge too, like taking a walk. Not everybody lives in a quiet neighborhood, so that's not always possible. So, getting to a park or, you know, around the body of water, like on a beach or near a river, or, some people go to reservoirs, wherever. Regardless, just walking and practicing that breathing. I love that, Christine, of breathing in health and wealth and well-being rather, and then breathing out justice, like walking and thinking about all of those things at the same time and just enjoying and taking in what is around you. I feel like it again helps to connect us, reconnect us to Mother Earth, because being inside walls all day is also can be, stagnant energy as well. So getting outside where the air is blowing and the sun is shining, hopefully, and being able to walk in nature or around nature is always going to be centering and grounding. And I suggest it to most people to practice it. I do a lot. Anything else y'all do?
Okay. So I love all these points. These are all like, yes, these are all great things that I have found myself doing in my practice. Um, Another one was like just the affirmations. I believe this is like your, is it like your thymus gland or something like that? That's like located.
Thyroid? Thyroid?
Thyroid is higher. It might be thymus. I know it has a high heart up here, so I'm not
Okay, so let's go with high
sure.
heart. I think it is. I'm gonna look it up because I think it's like
Mhm.
your thymus gland is like around here. But when you're
Mhm.
feeling like energetically heavy and you want to ground, it's okay to like, tap here and even like moving the eyes counterclockwise. I learned this from Iyanla Von Sant. I went to one of her things and just moving the eyes and then taking like a couple seconds and then going backwards and also saying those affirmations that Christine, so like I'm safe in my body, I feel whole, I feel seen, like whatever it is that you need to say to yourself in the moment. um yeah, just it has to resonate, basically is what we're getting at. So it's like we're throwing these tools out here at you so that something goes like, oh, I could do that thing. Oh yeah, like that's a great practice. The sound healing, go ahead, go.
Yeah, just, going back to that, holding and I love the eyes, like, that's a great I've never done that. That makes me think of tapping. Have y'all experimented with tapping, using the acupuncture points the same as Sia described, the affirmation? So, I know it's the collarbone that they say, but, I'm adding that high thymus, whatever you called, I'm adding that as part of my tapping because that's a good one, that's a good one. But
And
that's
it could
also
have been that. Maybe it was that part too. Like, look, Google, you know me, Google
Yeah.
it. Google it what he
Yes.
said, Google it.
Take it and run and go down the rabbit hole. Because the thing is, it's going to be different versions of things, Like maybe today it's this thing. Like I like to switch it up. I didn't even mention yoga. Like I do a lot of yoga at times. Sometimes I do no yoga. So like it depends on what is resonating at the time, like Sia said. So, but yeah, taking a little bit of everything so that when you're feeling like, oh, I've been doing yoga for a while. Let me try something new. Let me go for a walk today. Let me try tapping. Let me try, nostril breathing. Let me try some affirmations. Let me do all three at the same time. Like tap, walk, and whatever.
now you're talking my language.
Like that's how you know we be deep in it. Like, yeah, doing all this today. Let's go. Well, also shameless plug. You guys do have two people here that will definitely ground you. All of us will get you grounded quickly. Christine will
Absolutely.
pull up your chart and tell you this is exactly how you need to be grounded. These are some of the things you want to look into. So if you just feel like, yeah, I hear you, but I still feel like I don't understand, please don't hesitate to reach out directly. Um,
Yeah,
that's what we're
thank you,
here
Sia.
for.
And I actually was just looking, like for myself, I was just like, where in my chart can I look at for grounding practices? And so, yeah, that's definitely something um, that information that I think that we all should be aware of and constantly thinking of and looking to our chart for empowerment. Um, so yeah, because I was looking and yes, there's so many things in human design, as well as astrology that can point to those. But I know in many situations, I don't get to go as frequently because as I want to, just because of timing. But Shishetta, and I need to get Sia, where can I get your meditations? Okay. But Shishetta, um, those sound baths. Those sound baths. Those sound baths. And
Yeah.
are they available for purchase? Like if
You
I
can,
just need
yeah. I have some on my site that are, green. They're evergreen. They're there. You can do whenever you feel like it. Like, I mean, YouTube University has so many opportunities for things, guided meditation, sound healing, sound frequencies, breathing techniques. I mean, it's amazing how much information is out there. I think it's just a matter of knowing what to look for. So I feel like we've given so many different choices, places to start. And the good thing about an algorithm is it's going to start feeding you some other things that even if we didn't mention it, you're going to find some other stuff too. And you can hit us up, let us know. Maybe it's something we need to try as well.
Yes, definitely. It's so funny because, like, as you were saying that, I was literally like, once they see this kind of stuff is just gonna keep popping up like right in their face.
Yep.
Because more than likely, like, you're watching this because you need grounding. Like, you need grounding. We're talking about it because even to each other, like, we're mirrors. We need more grounding, right? Shishetta and I were going into 4 weeks of grounding because clearly Shishetta and I need to be
Yes.
grounded
Both need
regularly for
grounding.
4 weeks. Like,
Yeah.
that's just how this energy works. So you're gonna see it. You're gonna start to see it everywhere. And it's just like, I invite you to not run from the calling. Just try it. Try, see what works for you, let go what doesn't. And yeah, come back and share. We always want to hear how things are energetically moving in other people's lives. I was gonna ask about knowing the difference between like having like this openness for others because we're Black women. Most of us are mothers or caretakers or nurturers of some sort. So, what's the difference between knowing when you need to ground as far as like, I'm open and I'm doing these things for people because I have the space and capacity versus I'm leaking my energy everywhere
Mm.
um, and I'm burning out, I'm overworked. If you had a point or
What's coming up is that unfortunately, a lot of times, remembering that doesn't happen until it's starting to show that something's not right, like starting to feel overwhelmed, starting to feel anxious, or just in general, because sometimes, like, again, the whole idea of finding the time, like you have to make the time to do these things. So I feel like having a regular practice is key. That's number one. But sometimes life be life in, and so even though you might have all the intentions in the world to have a regular practice, it doesn't happen, and then before you know it, it hasn't happened for a couple days. So then that's a sign, right? That's a sign, because then I feel like if you're not constantly pouring back into yourself, you're already going to be at a deficit. Like that's just the way I think in my head. So it's like if we're not doing and taking the time to ground, to do the things that you have decided is the thing to do to come back to yourself, whether it's a spiritual bath, whether it's, going for a walk, whether it's taking a dance class or, taking some supplements, whatever you have as your part of your routine. If you're not doing that regularly, it's going to start to show up really soon that you are not giving from a full cup. And so, like, how do we know? Let's see, snapping it, folks. um, Losing it off of the smallest little thing. The leaking energy, I feel like that's a really, really important point. I don't have anything for that because I feel like that's something I'm still learning and unlearning. So I'd love to hear what y'all have to say about leaking energy. But yeah, I feel like when your moods are off, if you feel like the littlest thing, especially if you have little ones, that's a quick way. They can push those buttons quick. You can, if you're snapping at the kids, snapping at your significant others, like getting mad at people in the grocery store for standing in the aisle. Like, I mean, they're already on the decline. It's
ready to draw somebody off the road, like like
I
pipe
know.
down.
Bring it back.
So the leaky energy, I can speak to this as like a healer, mom, homeschooler, provider type of person. I know that I'm leaking my energy when I step back more into my people pleasing, self node energy. My self node energy activate, like it lets me know, like, hold up, wait a minute. I must not be too grounded right now because I'm easily burnt out. I'm willing to say yes to doing things that I know I don't have the space and the capacity to do. Um, and it doesn't always necessarily look like frustration or anger. It's just like wanting to wear all the hats too soon, you know? And I mentioned that people pleaser energy because I feel like a lot of us carry that. Um, just because of we carry a lot of roles and we don't want to disappoint, we don't want to let down. Sometimes it's just hard. We don't want to disappoint ourselves in thinking that turning down an opportunity or turning someone that we love away means that we're like bad, or have like this negative theme to it. So that's leaky energy, opening conversations and then like, oh, I just feel so drained now. And it's like, well, because you probably didn't have the space and capacity to take on the conversation that you allowed, your body gave cues. Your body gave several cues in the conversation, like this ain't for me. Oh, maybe not right now. Enforce a boundary, and that was like a big one for me, where even when I talk to people, I really really try to make it my intention to ask, like, well, do you have space? And I'm not perfect. I'll find myself like going on about something I went through and I'm like, I didn't even ask, like, if they wanted to hear that right now, because I'm just venting because I'm not grounded, and now I'm putting my leaky energy onto them. So that's that leaky energy. And again, like even in the series that we're doing, we'll talk about that auric field that we all have and how, yeah, there could be little holes and, tears in there where we feel really good, but we allow like ourselves to vomit, vomit on people just because. So to me, that those are all ways of having leaky energy versus open. So then, like, now let's kind of look at more what is the open energy.
I just wanted to give Christine an opportunity to share about human design because I feel like you mentioned frustration.
Yeah, that's
I
what
feel
was on my mind the entire time. It's
yeah.
like that's how you know. Like those are the easy trigger words to know that you're leaking energy. If you're feeling bitter, if you're feeling angry, frustrated, disappointed. So having these keywords in mind, basing on your human design, it's like, okay, I know that I'm not in my now self theme. Where can I regain my energy? Um, I'm not feeling satisfied. I'm not feeling at peace. So, what do I need to do to get back into alignment with self? So, knowing that not self theme and noticing where you feel that in your body, in your aura field. Are you feeling that from other people? Are they penetrating your aura with that energy? You know, so yeah, those are the things that came into mind the entire time y'all are speaking.
Especially being an MG and I'm talking about being frustrated. It's like, oh, there we go. Like, yep, manifesting generator, not self-theme,
Okay,
anger and frustration.
it makes so much sense. And then here I am talking about not having the capacity. Like, yeah, because I'm bitter now from doing the things that I never had. It wasn't an open invitation. It wasn't a true yes.
Mm.
Okay. So I love that you stopped to invite in that system, because this is why I love having things like astrology, human design, gene keys. It's like we're set up with these tools. So then when we feel like we have to like, okay, so then how do you know? Like, well, you have a blueprint. Like, so for the very analytical mind, there is like a blueprint where you can go right here. Oh, frustration. Okay, so every time I'm starting to like notice more frustration pop up, I need to ground more. There's no more questions. Beautiful.
You're talking about the open energy. Hmm. So I don't know. I need a little more context. So open energy, are you saying like open as in ready to receive? Or are you saying open as in everybody can have this energy? Like
So open more so. So since we're already on human design, then that would be more your strategy, your I can't think of the word. Christine, help me out. Like when you're working in your
When you're in alignment,
in
you're in alignment. So how do you know when you're in alignment? So if you're feeling at peace versus angry, if you're feeling satisfied, if like with the conversation that we're having, this is bringing me satisfaction rather than frustration. That's where that energy can leak in. I'm feeling surprised versus disappointed, in everything that's going on around me. So that's alignment. That's alignment.
yes, I love that. And that is along the lines of what I was thinking, like you're prepared and you're ready to have the open space for others. You have a
Yes.
cup full with more to give from, and not people are just taking from the little bit that you have already. Um, you don't feel the overwhelm of other people's energy, because then let's go back to that auric field that we'll talk more about. It's sealed, it's grounded, it cannot be penetrated. So it's still here, it exists, still a light, and we're ready. But now I don't take on what you come with, but I can listen, you know? And again, these grounding practices, these listening to frequencies, these are all ways, taking spiritual baths, the water, all ways to like seal that field. So not only are you grounding yourself so that your energy is good, but you're also doing it as a sense of protection because you don't know what everybody else out here doing, right? So you're protecting self from what everybody else has going on, spewing their energy every which way.
Yeah, and that also makes me think of the open centers that you have in your chart. So, if you have an open emotional center, are you taking in everybody's emotion? If you have, an open root, all of that, So, yeah, lots of different points. And then, like, even to bring in astrology, like using your Saturn placement as an energy that you can work with to fortify your energy, your boundaries, what's going on. Looking and working with that energy because that is what Saturn is here to do.
absolutely Saturn, crone energy, like getaway. That actually I was gonna veer into another angle because we're talking about, frustration and anger and bitter and all these things that I just wanted to highlight that like Black women historically have been seen as always being bitter, angry, or, just never satisfied, never happy. And, that has come from years and generations of us not doing the things that we're talking about so that we can be centered and knowing ourselves enough, honoring ourselves, valuing ourselves enough to say, I don't have the capacity to take this on right now. I don't have the space to do this thing for you right now. I don't have the space to go to this place. And so many of us feel like again, that people pleasing, we don't have the ability to say we can't or say no, the complete word no, period, because of already being so overdone. And so I'm feeling like it's another invitation because that's not what we're doing. Black women aren't doing that anymore. Right? We're moving into we are resting. We are
We are
resting.
resting. And I love that you said that because the Black woman was uprooted. She was completely like, if you go all the way back, I mean, we can go all the way back when Black women were the rulers of the world, but I don't know if y'all ready for all of that. So we can go to Africa when they were uprooted from okay? The homeland, right? Like the Black woman is the only woman who has had to sacrifice her child for capitalism and consumerism and just be okay and not be angry about it. That runs in this DNA. So that's why they try to label us like that, okay? Like we have foremothers who children were ripped away from them and they never saw them again. On top of everybody else, on top of the parents and the husbands and who if they were lucky enough to have a husband. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, there's a lot of frustration and anger, hurt, grief in there. It's our privilege. It's our privilege for our bloodline, back and forward, to reroot, to ground. So that's a big reason. I think that's why that remembrance keeps coming up, because we were very rooted, very much so. And even now, you hear about
Part
like
of
the
indigenous culture is to be rooted and connected to the land. And yeah, we're just remembering, rediscovering. Yeah.
rediscovering what is innately ours, truthfully. So yeah, that's just a little piece I had. This is a good one. I love this conversation that we're having today.
So good. It's making me, I feel very grounded right now. Like,
Super grounded. Like all of my toes are on the floor.
very yummy, yummy conversation. And yeah, till next time.
Take a breath, beloved. You've just witnessed another layer of rising in real time.
We pray this conversation met you right where you are and reminded you that healing is not a destination. It's a rhythm, a remembering, a return.
If something here stirred your spirit, share this episode, leave a reflection, or tell a sister who's also on her way home to herself.
We'll meet you again in the next episode. Until then, stay rooted and stay radiant.